Oh, Hailie, welcome back to Jason O'Leash. Good to see you, sis.
Good to see you as well. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Since we've last talked, there was something you said 4 years ago to me that resonates with me now, and it's that you don't move from a place, or you don't react from a place of fear. That everything you do is from a place of love. And I have had that in the back of my mind every time I've thought I was going to move from a place of fear. So thank you for that, because your voice, you made an impact on my life in addition to the millions of other people around the world.
Wow. Thank you for saying that. That means a lot to me. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad it was of use to you.
Of course, absolutely. Your life has been full and you've done so many great things since we've last talked. Let's jump right to it though, because the House of Sahar, the new fragrance, Sultana, ladies and gentlemen, this is a blockbuster, and it's so warm, it's so enveloping, all natural ingredients. It's everything I would imagine you would want to smell like. And we're frag heads, so we love fragrances. When did you say, listen, I'm going to put this out? The world needs to have this.
I was always a lover of scent. When I decided to make it a business, it was something I always wanted to do. And it was really when I was filming Pose, and it was during the winter time. So one thing the audience should know is that I'm really known for the way that I smell on set. And you can ask anyone I work with. So people would always compliment me on the way I smelled. And it was sometimes those fragrances that I was purchasing, but it was a lot of the times fragrances that I was concocting on my own with essential oils. And so I just decided, this is something I wanted to do since childhood, since sneaking in my grandmother's closet and spraying her fragrances. And I said, you know what, why not now? Why not start this line and give my audience luxury, something that comes from us for us. And so it's been a process, and it's been really in the works. I say over 3 years. It's technically been about 4 years of making this fragrance since I was filming Pose, Sultana. So she's come a long way.
She's come a long way, and she's genderless, right? A man and a woman can wear it, yes?
Genderless. So that was another thing that I was really keen on. I wanted to create a unisex fragrance. Unisex fragrances are really my favorite personally. I think fragrance has no gender. There's whatever you want to wear it. You know what I mean? It's your life, do your thing. I wanted a scent that really would transcend through all genders everywhere. So that was important to me. And also using, as you spoke to, natural ingredients. One of the things that I am very particular on is luxury, but luxury having quality. I think a lot of times today things are considered luxury because they have a strong name from the years and decades of followings, but a lot of the quality has been lost in that process. And so for me, it was important to give luxury, but also to have something that really is technically luxurious. So the fragrance is completely natural, very expensive notes. But it was really important to me to give that to the audience. I wanted to deceive them or lie to them and give them something synthetic. And, so that's really important to me in my fragrancer.
Well, that's why, fragrance costs so much, because of course, now in 2024 and for 20 years now, synthetic molecules obviously have been used for fragrances because of certain regulations that go into fragrances, like sandalwood, oak moss. Those things have been regulated because of allergic reactions and myriad different reasons. So fragrance providers and noses have to work with molecules unless they want to have a higher cost point with naturals like lavender and rose and whatnot. And he chose to give luxury and also quality. You make a great point that we have these very prestigious brands, but we are buying the name and the quality has suffered. And people are keen to that now. They know when something is poorly made or it's really up to snuff with our hard-earned dollar.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, and to your point, it is some things have been regulated. So I definitely understand that aspect. But yes, it was quality for me, quality over quantity. And that's just important to me. Like I said, I've always been a lover of the finer things, and I wanted something for our community. Like I said, something that was from us for us. And I wanted other people to see myself as a reflection of them and see that they can also be entrepreneurs and they can also start their own brands and their own businesses. Of course, people are familiar with me from my acting, But I've always wanted to have my own fragrance line, eventually my own clothing line, and also something that people will find on my website, which is what my fragrance will be available, is I'm also into home decor. So I have a lot of, antique items and things that I've sourced and had appraised that will be available for people as well. So it's important to me to give back and show people you can be a boss in many facets.
Yeah, like I said, I've coined you as a multi-hyphenate activist, actress, trans woman, entrepreneur, all the things that make you so beautiful. I have to ask though, you don't name the nose behind the fragrance though, the perfumer behind the fragrance. Is that by choice or?
Well, not necessarily. So just to be technical, I myself created it with my
Right.
fragrance, and so we did it. It was a collaborative
Absolutely.
project. My fragrance, though, he actually has his own production company. It's called Frederico Perfumery, and so his name is Justin. That's who did this with me. But it was, like I said, over 4 years of sending back notes. Literally, while we were filming Pose, I would go from my set to the trailer, and I would have mail there that was delivered, and I would be smelling it on the phone with him, saying, "This note worked. This one doesn't work. Let's try some rose here. Let's try this over here." So, but it was a collaborative effort, and so he's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful chemist, and he's done a lot of fragrance for a lot of top brands that I don't want to mention those, but he has done a lot of work with a lot of top brands in his past, and he has his own company now. So he's incredible. Absolutely. I loved working with him. So.
Well, it's a story you're telling, right? Because to create a fragrance, you have to have an idea and an inspiration, and also fragrance is liquid emotion. You've been on this journey, and I say journey because people love to throw that out, but you absolutely have been on this journey of becoming who you are now, and you are writing your memoir. You are writing your memoir. I mean, okay, and you say now is the time. What is behind that? Why is now the time?
Well, now is the time for a lot of reasons. One, because I had to realize that the lifestyle that I live is very unique. One being that I am a multiracial person, right? So there's an intersection there that a lot of people don't necessarily talk about. What does that feel like to be interracial and to have all of these different backgrounds? Two, because I come from a heavy religious upbringing. My father is a preacher. My grandfather was a pastor as well before he passed away. And I have a long lineage of just pastors and Baptist churches. And then the third thing I would say is because I am an open trans woman navigating Hollywood, there are not many of us as of now that are in those spaces. And so I thought that though I am still young, it is important for me to tell my story, to really enlighten other people that identify as I do, or just identify as themselves and want to have some person who is open and free and bold enough to speak the truth, to where they'll see a reflection of themselves. I know that the lifestyle I live is very unique. Getting Pose was such a huge opportunity, and it's opened up so many doors for me. And sometimes I am the only trans woman in those spaces. And so I think it's important for me to write to that and to change the narrative for the next person coming up. And so it was important to me to also show people how I got here. I don't believe in hoarding knowledge. I think that we are vessels, and as vessels, we are meant to distribute our wisdom to the next person.
Yeah.
That's how we are interconnected, right, as human beings. And so what I've learned and how I've gotten here has been very unconventional. It has not been a blueprint for me. And so what better way to help the next person than to tell them how I got here, what I went through, what were my obstacles, and how I overcame them, and how I'm still dealing with some of them. Another side of me that I'm showing that is very raw and real. And one last thing I wanted to say is, in my own self-evaluation, I had to realize that there's a huge part of me that is extremely closed off. And I know that that's a protective shield that I have that I've built up over the years. But through working on pose and getting more exposure, I become more bold and more outspoken. And so now I'm ready to use that voice and give back and do something with it that is impactful. So that's why it was important to me to write this book.
You mentioned that the way your life has traversed and what you've done has been unconventional, but I have to say, Hailie, it's also been inspirational too. And I completely understand the shield or the armor you've had to erect to protect yourself. And there's a saying that says things that you've learned can be unlearned and you can put them away because they're no longer useful. Meaning like all those walls we've built, and we all have them. Anybody who says that they do not have some kind of guard in some way, shape, or form are lying. Those are the people that need to be in therapy. But people who, as you said in your self-reflection, and obviously writing a memoir is where it's all unsheathed and you are so vulnerable, reliving the splendor and the tragedy and the pain of your life. And so you have to revisit all of that to write about it authentically and to do yourself a service of telling your story as accurately as you could. And I love that you said that you wanted to be a vessel. That's who you've been prior to being on Pose, prior to writing this memoir. So thank you for you. And thank you for being here to say that, because as we know, our trans brothers and sisters don't have a lot of support and don't have places to turn to and don't have people in community that they have their chosen friends, other people in our community, but outside of that, there's a whole vicious pack of wolves looking to eat them alive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. You know, writing a memoir is very therapeutic, right? So reliving a lot of my traumas and things that I've never, ever spoken about publicly, ever. It was very challenging, but in that, I grew in that. And so it has been not only a gift for the people, but a gift for myself. And it's just been very therapeutic for me. So I know that, like, you know, playing characters is wonderful, but there's a limitation to people being able to understand Lulu or Jasmine or Sylvia Rivera, all these people that I played, and who is Hailie Sahar. And so I think navigating Hollywood gave me the courage now to use my actual voice, not through a character, not through an Instagram post and, you know, a glam team, none of that, just really raw and authentic and really getting down in the dirt and telling you, like, listen, this is what I went through.
What would Lulu say to you, knowing that now? Just like if she could see you now with your career, the love you have, the perfume, the memoir, all of that, what would she say to you?
What would she say to me? Okay, bitch, you did that. You know, when I think of Lulu is a lot of girls, right? She is a guarded person. You know, that's where I connected with her. She's guarded. She has a lot to offer, but she was afraid. And so though we're different in that, you know, I'm going to go after what I want and I'm not afraid in that aspect. I'm afraid to be vulnerable. That's my truth. I'm afraid to be vulnerable with people because I don't trust people based off of my upbringing. And so Lulu, I see myself in her as an evolution. And so I think Lulu will be very proud of where I've come. And I think it'll inspire her as well to go after her dreams and do what she needs to do for herself, because she had the talent, she had everything, and she was just, you know, kind of just tippy-toeing about it. So I think Lulu will be proud, and I think she reflects a lot of girls.
Okay, the memoir is coming and the fragrance is ready for us. Where can we pick it up? Where can we experience Sultana from the House of Sahar?
Sultana will be available starting now on my website, which is www.houseofsahar.com. And there you will find not only Sultana on the market, but also beautiful vintage decor. One of my passions is antiquing. So beautiful decor that I've handpicked. And it's just a house of luxury. So welcoming House of Sahar. Visit the website. And I am so excited for you guys to smell this fragrance. It's a passion of mine. So can't wait for you to smell it.
We want to live eternally in the House of Sahar. And this is the first fragrance. You're not, this is the legacy starts now.
It starts now. This is the new house. So this is not a celebrity perfume. This is the house. So this is the brand. And so I can't wait. We're already in actually production of making the next fragrance. So I'm excited to get this one off the shelves as well.
You love it. Here's to all the success. I'm a co-Angela Bassett from Wait and Exhale. Here's to all the success that your heart and hand can hold. Hailie, you're incredible. All the best, babe.
Thank you. And I love Angela Bassett. Thank you for saying that.